Welcome to Wiggys. It's been a while since I've made a video. It's now winter time. Because it's winter time, I'm wearing my lamellite socks and my chukka boots. And if it was snowing out there, I'd be wearing my 10-inch boots. Temperature this morning was about 16 degrees. And I'm also wearing my fishnet top. So I stay very, very comfortable all day long. Now, because of this new material, I decided to demonstrate how it works. And so for the first time, I am going to take everybody into my laboratory over here that was set up to test the materials that we use. And the first thing I'm going to do is don my laboratory gown. Now, most of these laboratories that you see, like Gore and the Hohenstein Institute, the folks down at Kansas State University, they have white lab coats. I use an international orange lab coat for a reason. In the event that there's a fire in the testing laboratory, and there's a lot of smoke, when you see somebody in that white lab coat, they disappear in the smoke. So with the international orange lab coat, then the firemen will see you, you stand out like a sore thumb, and they can get you out in a hurry. Now I'm going to take it off because we're not using any fire today, and it's pretty warm inside this lab coat. But we try and take all precautions that you would want when you're working in a laboratory. Fortunately, I don't use any of the insecticides that the other companies use to make fabrics that are going to be used for getting rid of odor. And so I don't have to worry about the insecticides. Now here is the pullover that I made that you see in the picture that's on the website. And I'm going to demonstrate how the wonderful material that I have trade named Ducksback performs. So we'll now go into the laboratory. Now, before we get to doing the demonstration, I want to show you some of the different features of our laboratory, the apparatus. Right over here is our heating apparatus, which at Thanksgiving time we use to cook a turkey, and it does a wonderful job. Over here, we do all of our wash testing. Special Calypso washer. And this is a Kenmore dryer. And over here, we have our cold chambers. When we're not using them for cold chambers, some of the employees keep food in here. And it does a good job of keeping it cool, so it stays for a week. Over here, we have flooding and rain. Now I'm going to take the jacket and I'm going to flood it. And as you can see, All this water is running off of the jacket. And for all intents and purposes, it is bone dry. Now we'll show you how it responds to rain. Biggest storm you can imagine. And it's running off of it. Here, we have a piece of the fabric. And I'm going to show you. See how it's kind of beads up and just runs off? It's like water running down a duck's back. Would you believe it? And then you get to look at the other side. And the only wetness is because it was wet from the special sink, you know. But now the big test of vapor permeability. Nothing breathes, you know. See, this just lays there. There's no lungs, it can't breathe, doesn't do anything. Same thing with these Teflon film laminated materials. The Gore-Tex best defense on this one. Who knows what this one is? They say it breathes. Breathe. There's no breathing going on. It doesn't do anything. It just kind of lays there like a dead carp. You know. But now, for the test of vapor permeability, you draw in. You don't try and blow out. And you get air coming through. And that's how you get vapor permeability. If you try and do that with these double laminated 3-ply, you try and draw through it, you might as well put a plastic bag over your head. So that is the difference between vapor permeability and breathability. Now I'm going to go back into the showroom where I have a couple of items set up to show you the future of where this material is going to go over and above clothing. So we'll just go back into the showroom. Right here we have the single person bivvy shelter. This is something that I've made ultimately for the Air Force security officers. The guys that, you know, they guard all the Air Force facilities. And in the course of making it, I had a laminated lamellite top, which is vapor permeable. The problem with this top was that when it rained, because this is a single-ply nylon, water would penetrate through. So I had to make a fly to go over it, which was made with 200 denier urethane-coated nylon Oxford. And the tent part also made with urethane-coated nylon Oxford. Now all of this comes off if you don't need the fly part. And you could use this in temperatures of 50 degrees and higher with your ground pad inside and no sleeping bag. And you just hook this over it, and you've got your little hood. The little hood unzips, And during the warmer weather, when there might be bugs, you've got a mosquito netting, which also unzips. And you can unzip this. Now I have in here a super light sleeping bag. But back in here is the stuff sack. And the stuff sack is attached to the hood. And the purpose was so the security guys could have a firearm and a flashlight in there without having to fiddle around for it. And of course, when you take that and turn it right side out, everything is being packed into it. Now this whole system with the 4 stakes and the pole is 2 3/4 pounds. By getting rid of the 200 denier fly and taking the single ply taffeta off of the insulation and putting on the Ducksback material, you don't need the fly anymore. But also taking 200 denier coated Oxford nylon from here away and replacing that, and that would be all of this with the Ducksback material. You're further reducing the weight. Now I have yet to make one because we've been so busy with taking care of orders right now that I've just put it on hold until after the first of the year. But I'm expecting that the weight of this thing will go from 2 3/4 pounds to maybe 2 pounds. But I won't know that until I make one and put it on a scale. The other thing that I'm going to do is make the same thing without the lamellite insulation on it. So that's going to take another, I'm expecting ½ pound out of this. So you'll have a single person bivvy shelter that weighs 1.5 pounds. The bottom will continue to be the 200 denier coated Oxford nylon because it's tough and it's waterproof. And that will be something for all the people that like to go extremely light. I know up in Alaska, the goat hunters, they're always on the move. They're always looking for the lightest things they can get. That, I think, is a product that they will really enjoy having because you've got something that you can get under. You can have a flashlight, you can read a book. If you're locked in because of bad weather, no problem. You know, you're not sitting there with something right against your face. Another item that I'm going to make, which is the Divvy BQ. Divvy BQ is a very lightweight bivvy bag, just like any bivvy bag. But it is retaining moisture which condenses on the inside. When you add the Ducksback material to the top of this bivvy bag, now it's vapor permeable as well as being water resistant. And it'll also reduce the weight a couple of ounces. And you will have this wonderful product. And I don't know what this weighs. I've never bothered weighing it. But it's going to be lighter in weight. Now I'm going to show you where it all started from. This is my raincoat. I was in San Francisco back in 2011. With all the years I traveled into San Francisco, I never really saw the city itself. So I went out there, spent a few days, and it rained for 3 days. And I was in Neiman Marcus, a store that I like going into. I don't buy things there as a rule. But I needed a raincoat, and I saw this one. And it was very light in weight. And it has this pocket in it, so you could take it and shove it in here. I haven't done this in a while. I've had this in the back pocket behind the seat of my vehicle. Anyway, so it gets really small. And I want to close this up. I have a reason for doing that. Ooh. While I'm doing this, I'd like to show you my assistant. Right over there, taking notes. That's Cookie. See, the minute I call her, she's up, ready to do things. Generally, it's go outside. But anyway, so this little thing fits in here. I just realized I had another pocket here. I don't know what that's for. Maybe they have a little umbrella that'll fit in there. Anyway, so you see how small it gets, and it's crunched up. And now take it out. And as you can see, there's almost no wrinkles in it. However, this past summer, we had more rain than we normally have, so we got to use it a lot. And while I was using it, I was noticing that water runs off of this. And there's no water repellent treatment on it. There's no coating on it. It's vapor permeable. And I went looking for the fabric. And I eventually found it about 2 months ago. And that is what I'm using now to make these products. And it's going to expand from the pullover, the zip-up front jacket that I've written about, the bivvy bags. There's any number of products that I can make using this stuff that will make the products better, because it is doing something that I didn't think was really possible. It is being waterproofed. I prefer to say water resistant, really, versus waterproofed. And it is vapor permeable. And so, this is the direction I'm going in. So long as we're here in the showroom, the chukka boots and the 10-inch boots are doing incredibly well. The lamellite socks doing incredibly well. These things I couldn't be more pleased about. For people that need something to protect their feet in the boots down to 30 below zero. This is the overboot. I have been in lamellite boots, lamellite socks, and overboots at 28 below zero that I know of. And I can't tell the difference between 28 and 30 below. But being properly dressed otherwise, my feet never knew what cold was. If you want to go real cold, mucklucks. They're used in Antarctica. And I got a compliment one day from this guy, Will Steger. The Gore Company paid him to go across Antarctica a number of years ago. And when he came back, and I was still exhibiting at an OR show, he came up to me and he said, I would have lost my feet if it weren't for your mucklucks. I mean, that's quite a compliment from somebody who is doing these funny things, you know. Anyway, that's the general direction that we're going in. Using the laboratory to test stuff, just fantastic. You know, I kept seeing all these other companies with their laboratories, North Carolina State. You know, they've got these apparatus, I think, don't apply to the textile business, but what do I know? So, now the other thing that I wanted to show you was this. This is not one of those 12 or 13 crystal heads that the ancient alien people like to talk about. This represents to me my competition. You can see through it. There's nothing to break it up. So, anyway, I'll be writing about the different products that I'm making with the Ducksback material. And I've written it many times. I'm very, very appreciative of the business that I get from people. I'm very, very appreciative of the people that write to me, telling me their experiences that I can relate to other customers in the newsletters, commentary, and in the testimonials on the website. Since I expect this will be on the website prior to Christmas, Merry Christmas to one and all, and thank you for your attention.